Hello everyone, welcome back to another vlog. We are starting it today in a very different location. I'm in an apartment and it's not my apartment. It is my apartment for the next week because I am on my vacation right now. I'm on my holiday. It's the last summer one of the year. I went away in June with Cami. We went to Gran Canaria and we really enjoyed it. So we've come back, but we've come to a different part of the island and this is so nice. Like, I'll show you where we're staying because we're both surprised by how nice it is. It's so beautiful. We think it's new because it doesn't even look like anyone else has stayed here before. I thought that I would film another what I read on vacation. So we've brought my little TikTok microphone with me. This is what I record my TikToks with because I didn't want to bring my laptop or my big cameras, everything that I usually film with, just because it's my vacation, it's my holiday time, it's time for me to relax and I'm going to be reading. So we brought my GoPro because that always comes traveling with me, and then I thought, why not bring my little microphones that I record TikToks with, because the quality of the last video I filmed, I wasn't like my favorite, I wasn't the biggest fan of that. So, you know, trying to make my videos enjoyable for you to watch. But if you have clicked on this video and you don't know who I am, hi, my name is Emmy. I love reading, I love books, I love absolutely anything to do with reading and books, and I do both of them here on my channel. We have a lot of vlogs, a lot of reading vlogs, a lot of reading challenges, and lots of bookish things. So today's no different. This is what I'm reading while I'm away for 7 days. I got less than 2 hours sleep this morning. We had to wake up at 3:45 and I didn't get to bed until like 1:30 a.m. because I had to edit and schedule a 24-hour readathon and my reading wrap up. So I prioritized them because I didn't want to have to bring my laptop and stuff with me on holiday. But we are here now. So the entire 4.5 hour plane ride here, I slept. Usually I would read, so I haven't even started reading for the day yet. I'll show you my TBR of what I got, but first I want to show you where we're staying. So we got an apartment this time instead of like a hotel. So there's like pans and stuff. There's a little fridge freezer. There's a little bar there with bar stools. So Cami and I can sit, have some dinner together or some breakfasts. We've got a little seating area here where Cami's just sort of dumped his stuff for now. And then the beds, I don't know what it is, but every single time I've stayed somewhere that's all inclusive or service apartments, it's always twin beds. Any European summer holiday I've had, never like a double. And then in here we just have the bathroom, so that's very nice. There's you can see yourself. I obviously wore my feral book reader merch on the plane because why wouldn't I? Can you hear me? I don't know, I hope you can. On my Kindle last night, I downloaded so many books. I recently got book sleeves and Kindle sleeves for traveling, and I'll leave a link to them down below because these are from Etsy, they're beautiful. I showed them in my bookish birthday vlog video. These are all the physical books I brought with me on holiday. The first one is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I love Abby Jimenez and I've not read this book yet. Part of Your World is one of my favorite romance books ever. I just think it's so beautiful and I love her writing. I have the Jasad Air because I didn't want to pick up a fantasy book that I know has other books already out, or like ones that I would need to like feel the need to bring the second book with me on the series. I also tried to bring contemporary romances in physical book copies and listen to fantasy books or read fantasy books on the Kindle. But this was on my September TBR and I just ran out of time to read it, so I brought it with me because I really want to read it. In the first book sleeve, which fits 2 paperbacks, I brought Book Lovers by Emily Henry and Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. This is one I'm most excited to read because I just finished Chestnut Springs and I'm in my Elsie Silver era. I read A Shadow in the Amber on my last holiday. That's when I first picked it up, so I thought it would only feel right to finish the series in the same country that I started it. So I bought Born of Blood and Ash, and this is huge. Like, this book is insanely big and it's like textbook. It's so fluffy. So these are the physical books that I brought to read. I would like to read all of them. And then on Kindle, we've got Never Keep by Suzanne Valenti and Caroline Peckham, who are the authors of Zodiac Academy. It's their new book that just released that's set in the same like universe. So I got that because it's on Kindle Unlimited. And then I also downloaded Throttled by Lauren Asher because Larry told me to read the Dirty Air series. And then I wanted to start Lady of Darkness. They've taken it off Kindle Unlimited. I think it's because it's being traditionally published now, so it's no longer a Kindle Unlimited series, at least here in the UK, which is just blasphemous. But I did download the first Lady of Darkness book before they had taken it off of Kindle Unlimited, so I think I still have it on my Kindle, but I can't read any of the others, and it says they're not being re-released until like next year. So I don't know if I want to start that series because I'm not going to be able to continue it on straight away, which is so disappointing, but also my fault for not having already binged the series when I wanted 2 months ago. What else have we got? I downloaded so many books. I downloaded Blood and Steel, The Ever King. I would like to finish A City of Flames. Off to the Races, in case I want more Elsie Silver after finishing Wild Eyes. Oh, Worthy of Fate I want to read. I'm just in the mood for like indie fantasy book series that I can binge. Goldfinch has come out by Raven Kennedy, and I am going to read that on Kindle. I just don't know if I'm going to read it on this trip. I might save that for when I get back home. Finishing that series feels quite monumental. And then I also have, what else do I have? Oh, what do I have? I really want to read Wisteria by Adeline Grace, but I also feel like I want to save that for home. But I feel like fall season is best for that, and right now it's like 26 degrees Celsius. How much is that in Fahrenheit? 79 degrees Fahrenheit? But we're gonna go and get changed and head down to the pool. Cami is currently sat on the balcony. So I'm gonna get changed, get ready, and then we'll maybe take down a book. I don't know what I want to read. Do I want a fantasy or do I want a romance? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Okay, hello everyone. I have been at the pool. I have been reading Born of Blood and Ash. This is a 720 something page book. It's big, obsessed with the world and the characters. So I'm only like 4 chapters in, and I still have some more reading of that to do. But we didn't get to speak about Wild Eyes because you saw me reading that yesterday. I finished it. So I read 440 pages yesterday. I think this book for me is a 4.25 star because I felt the same way about this as I did reading Cade and Willa's story. It's interesting reading about like a pop star or a country star celebrity and having like that dynamic in there. This series is very interesting. Obviously we have like the billionaire in the first book and then like a famous country singer in the second. The way that the 6-year-old girl Emmy is described as being absolutely feral in this, say no more. The only thing for me was both the 6 and the 8-year-old to me just didn't speak like children. Like I was reading this and I was like, could a 6-year-old actually say that? But I don't have kids and I don't spend too much time around kids. No one close to me has kids around those age. I just am remembering back from when I was a kid. That was the only thing that was kind of like bringing me out of the book, but I loved the kids. I loved the comic relief and I just love their edition. I could have read so many more pages of just like this whole situation and this group of people and this family. I love Elsie Silver books. I love the small town cozy vibes of found family, the way they make you feel. I think they're just fun, easy reads, and I actually couldn't put this book down. I kept reading and reading and reading until I finished it, even though my eyes were like falling asleep. I really love this. I'm intrigued about the next book because obviously at the end we got like 2 chapters in what's going to be the start of the 3rd book in this series. I have theories in my head, but I'm not going to like talk about that in case it like spoils it for anyone who doesn't want to know what book 3 is going to be, what characters it spins off. But I'm assuming we're getting a book for each of the dads in the bowling club. I'm very happy. I'm going to go back and read her Gold Rush Ranch series next because I've read all the Chestnut Springs and now I'm up to date with the Rose Hill series. So that's fun. But we've already smashed out 1 book on day 1. But now I'm gonna just quickly grab some snacks and head back out to the pool. It is so hot today. I am so red. Very much enjoying the vibes and my vacation, and I'm just gonna be sitting and reading and relaxing.
happy hour here, so I have a mojito. Also, there's like music playing here, so I hope I get copyrighted. I'm gonna like not speak too long because of that. But yesterday, I only read 51 pages. I got to chapter 5 and started that. So I still have all of this to read. Hammy and I are going out quite early, so hopefully it means I can be home early-ish to get a good night's sleep and do a lot of reading in bed, because I didn't do any reading last night. I only read for like half an hour total. We're quite busy, but it's so hot today, so it's a pool day. So really, really sad that it's going to be the last book and that's all I'm going to get of Nyctos, because I love Nyctos so much. But anyways, I'm just going to sit here and read in the sun because it is hot. It is 30 degrees Celsius today. It says it feels like it's 35 degrees because of the humidity.
So I am back in the hotel room now and I have just showered and gotten ready. I am 138 pages into Born of Blood and Ash. I actually ended up taking a nap because I started to feel a bit too hot with the heat, but I'm really enjoying being back in this world and having all these characters. A lot of people always ask me if I remember all the information from books that I read, and yes I do, but obviously it's only natural that like the longer time passes from when you finish reading a book, you naturally forget more information than when you've just read it and it's fresh in your mind. But every time I pick up a book, and it's been like months since I've read something else in that series, or even like over a year between releases, as soon as I'm thrown straight into that book, I like remember and start picking up everything. It's really nice. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that and this part of the world and the way that the magic works and the politics in it. So yeah, very much enjoying it. I have seen some reviews saying that the first 65% is kind of like fillery and nothing really happens plot-wise, and I mean so far nothing really has happened plot-wise. It's just like a lot of dialogue between characters, but I don't mind that because I love these characters and I didn't get enough of them in book 3, so if we're getting extra of them in book 4, I really don't mind. It kind of balances things out for me because it is one of my favorite books series and my favorite characters. I really don't care if it's filler, to be honest. So I'm really enjoying this, but I kind of feel like I'm taking my time with this at the same time. That's the current reading update. So it is a little bit later now. We were at the beach today. We were there all day. Yesterday I read like 80 something pages, so I really didn't read that much, and then today I did make up for it, and I don't actually know how many pages I read. I need to like calculate the maths on that, but I'm over halfway through just, and I honestly kind of want to refinish the book tonight, so I might do that in bed when I get back in because I've got like less than 300 pages, so I might just stay up and binge it because I kind of want to. Otherwise I might just pick up something else and change it up. I feel like I need to change it. Not something, but like this book is so big. It was so hopeful of me to try and read it on my holiday. I am loving it. I can kind of see why people were saying that the first half nothing really happens, because nothing really does, but at the same time things do happen. Like there's a lot of conversations happening. We have so many of the characters making appearances, which as I said before I'm completely happy with, because in the last book they were missing. We're getting so much of Reaver and the Drakens. I can't lie though, I did like cringe a little bit at some of the spicy scenes. It was giving a little bit cringe. I'm also just like living off of these like little iced coffees. Honestly feels illegal not having like proper coffee or matcha all of this week, so I am very tired. But let's do the maths on this. Read 197 pages of this, and when I come back later I am going to try and read as much as I can, because tomorrow we are going out. It's going to be like our last exploring day, and then the last 2 days we have are going to be like relaxing pool days, which is where I'm going to be able to do the bulk of my reading. I'd like to finish some of this when I get back tonight, but we're going out for a dinner and drinks for my birthday meal. Even though my birthday was a couple weeks ago, this trip we were going to do so that I was away on my birthday and close to my birthday, but Cameron had his accounting exam, so we decided to go away first week of October instead. We're still going out for a birthday meal for me, a little celebration, so gonna have a nice meal and drinks. We'll probably be out late, but I'd like to get like at least an hour or 100 pages or so of this in and finish this book tomorrow in the afternoon when we're back from exploring. I am really enjoying it. I understand why people say that the first sort of 60% nothing really happens, because nothing really does, but because it's a 5-star series for me, and like I am obsessed with the characters and the Drakens, we're getting so much of them, a lot of dialogue, a lot of conversations are happening, but like plot wise not much is happening. But I know it's all going to happen in like the second half of the book, because the story is going to end, it's going to be the last book, and they talk so much of the War of Two Kings in the Blood and Ash books, so we know kind of what happens, where it's alluding to, and some little hints, like there's a lot about Sarah being sick right now, or like, you know, certain things to do with Sarah, and like Seraphina is obviously going through something's happening to her, but we know what it is because I've read the Blood and Ash books, and it's also very obvious. I'm enjoying it. I just can't wait to see where it goes and get hopefully some comfy reading in bedtime later. But anyways, I don't even know what I have said and haven't said because I forgot to press record on the microphone. But anyways, I'm going to pause it there and I'll check back in with you when we pick up the reading again. Hello everyone, it is Saturday. I can't believe we still haven't finished this book yet. We took a boat today to a few towns over and have been exploring all day, and then came back, got ready, we're going to go out for dinner. I am on page 457 in Born of Blood and Ash. This is going to be finished tonight. I have less than 200 pages to go, and I will be coming back and reading for like 2 hours in bed. I kind of love it. Like, I don't care. Like, is it perfect? No, absolutely not. It is far from that. I don't think that anyone can sit here and say, like, there is a book out there that everyone is going to agree is perfect. And I obviously believe that 5 stars is a feeling, and the way that a book makes you feel is one of the most important things ever. And the way that this book makes me feel, and these characters, and the world, and just everything, I just love. Like, I could spend hours in this world. I could spend days and months just reading about these characters and things that are happening, and I love it. I love being transported to this world, and I love Nyctos so much. Like, Ash in primal form. God help us. I love everything about it. Starting Blood and Ash was a bit of a struggle, trying to wrap my head around everything and you know, grasp the way that things work, and it's quite complicated. But when you get it, and then jumping into the Blood and Ash series, it's just like, oh, there's no feeling better than it. It's like all the harder work of trying to understand and pushing through some of the overly descriptive word, like, it's the reward that's so worth it. But that means that we read 318 pages on Friday of this book, so we got to, like, basically read half of the book yesterday, almost, and we will be finishing it today. Like, things are starting to pick up now, and like, now I know that the rest of what I'm going to read, the plot's going to be going crazy. And then tomorrow and the next day we're having just pool days, and there's a football game happening tomorrow night. Cammy's going to go watch it at the sports bar here. I'm not going to go with him because I went at the start of the trip with him for one evening, and I was going to read while I was there, but it was like there was way too much going on, and I didn't have any noise cancelling headphones, and ASD and ADHD, like, it was way too overstimulating for me. But he's gonna go watch the game. I'm going to stay home and do some reading tomorrow night, but we have 2 full days now of just pool relaxation. So I think I'm gonna be able to finish Just for the Summer and Book Lovers by Emily Henry and Abby Jimenez. Those 2 books I should be able to get done, and then all I have is the GoPro. I don't know how you pronounce it. We've got that fantasy book, but then I really want to read Neverkeep. It's on my Kindle, but I need to see how many words it is, because I might save that one for the plane. I want to read a Kindle read on the plane, but I have so many Kindle books that I want to read. I feel like I need to just, like, have a full week at home just to read. Like, I'd love to take a vacation of just time off to read, but I can't do that because I literally run a company and I love my job. Like, I love my day job so much. I love what I do. Yeah, I wouldn't do that, or at least anytime soon. Anyways, we're getting so off track here. I got these like little flowers on my head. I'll show you. They're like the Amazon clips, but I got them in a store here, and I know they're literally like pennies and from Amazon, and they were a couple euros. Did I overpay for how much I know they cost? Yeah, probably, but they're still not expensive at all. Anyways, that's so off track. This is what I'm reading in a week. Slash, I can't lie, I am kind of filming some clips in this vlog. You'll see you're kind of on holiday with me and we're reading together, so it's a little bit of the 2-in-1. I honestly feel like I've not really done that much reading so far on this trip. It's very different from my last vacation I took, where I filmed a what I read on vacation, where we were in an all-inclusive resort sitting by a pool for a full 7 days just reading. This has been little bits of reading here and there while we're out and about doing stuff, but the next 2 days are going to be like full relaxation by a pool reading. So I have no plan or goals to read as much as physically possible. Like, I'm just here enjoying my time, relaxing and reading. And obviously whenever I go on holiday, I'm going to read just as much as I would hopefully when I'm at home anyways, a couple hours each day. That's what makes me happy. And I brought my TBR. After this fantasy book, I'm definitely going to be jumping into Just for the Summer. I think that's the next one I want to pick up. Anyways, I'm going to go out for dinner now and we will read again when I get back. We finished this. I read this last night. I loved it. I don't know why some people have been hating it. I mean, like, I feel like when it comes to JLA books, people either love or they hate it. And I personally love it. Like, the way that everything in the end just ties into Blood and Ash and the prophecy. I feel like there's so much repetition in the book though. Like, Ruin and Wrath was mentioned like 4 times at the start of the book. And I know that that's an even bigger prequel. Like, it's all connected. But I'm like, okay, is that hinting that there's going to be more to come from Ruin and Wrath, and that's also going to be even more connected than what like the first book was? But anyways, so many of the similar words are used and it can sometimes be a bit too much, you know. Like, we get it, they're all connected. Obviously there's things that we knew from reading Blood and Ash, and then there's things that were hinted at from reading this, but getting them confirmed in the end, I was like, you're kidding me. And oh my god, like, I want to say so much. Maybe I'll put a little bit of spoiler bit. Skip to this part. Okay, talking about spoilers for this for a second. Poppy is Satoria. She's related to Callum as well. Like, because we got that in the last book confirmed that the last 2 Blood and Ash books were confirmed that Poppy is the second daughter and she has a sister who was first and failed. And they talked about at the end of this, like, the chosen was failed and Poppy is the second daughter. Oh, it's actually all kind of like fucked up because also like the cave cats. As soon as they mentioned cave cats, I was like, are you kidding me? But Poppy is Satoria. That actually makes my skin like crawl and chill. Oh my god, like, I actually want to go back and read. Well, I can't wait for the next Blood and Ash book now. I'm actually really excited for that. I feel like I need to go and stare at a wall and just like decompress. I want to go and watch in-depth videos about how everything is connected in the lore. I am kind of excited for Blood and Ash, and I think it was a good way to end the book, so I'm happy. But anyways, that's spoiler done. I just had to say that. I honestly think I'm gonna give this 4.5 because I did love it. Like, the first 65% nothing really happened, and the last bit picked up, but the first 65% I feel like we're making up for book 3, which we didn't get much of any of the other characters, and it was very isolated and my least favorite in the series so far. So I feel like it really did make up for that. Like, the things I was lacking or wanted in book 3 we were getting in the first half of book 4, and then the second half was all the action. I feel like some of the action did wrap up a little bit very quickly. Like, I was like, hang on a second, this happened and that, like, we've been leading up to this and it just happened in like a couple sentences, you know. My brain is a little bit like, whew, for Blood and Ash now. Like, I'm like, oh my god, like, I know so much, like, my head's gonna explode. But I can't believe it's done. I cannot believe it's done. And now I'm going to go read something not fantasy. Can have a little palate cleanser, maybe scroll on my Kindle or start my Abby Jimenez book. We'll see what I'm in the mood for. But all right, let's go to the pool and start a new book. I've caught a bit of the sun today. I don't know if you can you can tell that, but this book. I love this book so much. Abby Jimenez, probably my favorite romance author. Every time I read her book, it's 5 stars. I can't lie. Also, everyone who told me to read Part of Your World and Yours Truly before going into Just for the Summer, I get it now. Are you kidding me? Like, I knew it was going to be an interconnected standalone series, but I didn't realize how interconnected it was. And I have to say, it embarrassingly took me like 79% of the way through the book to realize who one of the main characters was. We got to 84% and I went, Neil. And for some reason in my brain, I was like, oh, that's funny that the characters have the same names. It's because they're the same characters, babe. I don't know if it's just the sun, but as soon as it clicked, I was like, wow, everything makes so much sense now. And I had this huge like OMG moment at the pool where I was like, oh my God, I had to put my book down. I had to tell Cami what was happening. And then I was like, wait, hang on a second. This has been pretty obvious all the way through the book, right? Like, it's not supposed to be like a OMG plot twist surprise. If you've read the other books, you should know as soon as you start reading out these characters, like, oh, that starts, like, there's been so much insinuation that is just straight over my head, just gone straight over my head. Low-key embarrassing how stupid I was, but I was just in my head like, I love these characters. I love them so much. The way that the conflict resolved though, not my favorite, but I get it. I get it. So good. I love Abby Jimenez and I'm so excited that we've got another book of hers coming. I think I'm going to read Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I might start this, but then I kind of want to read it by the pool and I feel like I could sit and read a whole book here right now because Cami is out. He's at a sports bar watching a football game and I didn't feel like going out. I wanted to stay home in air conditioning because I've caught the sun and read some more of my book because I haven't been able to read as much as I wanted. So I was like, I could do a little night in reading a book, having a grand old time. I think I'm going to spend the rest of my evening with Emily Henry. We'll give that a try. If I'm like not vibing or feeling it, I can always put it down and then pick it back up tomorrow by the pool because last day tomorrow and we're just going to be chilling and relaxing by the pool. But I just want to reread the books now. Like, I love Abby Jimenez so much. Oh, I just love it so much. So good. 5 stars. 5 stars. Okay. Time for Book Lovers. Let's do that. I took a break and I've started reading this book. Why do I think it's my favorite Emily Henry book so far? I'm 13 pages in. Also, me, literally autistic. What's wrong with Charlie's email? I can't help rolling my eyes. No nice meeting you. No, hope you're well. He couldn't even be bothered with basic niceties. I don't like basic niceties. I don't like small talk. I read that email and went, that's a nice email. I was like, they're clearly flirting. Main female character's like, what a bitch of a man. I think they're flirting. But then again, I am just autistic, so maybe it's a little bit of both. Oh wait, a time jump 2 years later. I've read Happy Place and Beach Read. Why is it that anytime that there's like a cold, bitchy main female character who's clearly just like misunderstood and suppressing her emotions, I'm like, yeah, that's my favorite. Like Nesta, everyone I just compare to Nesta. Like everyone's so Nesta coded. Anyways, I love this book. Happy Place was not like a happy love story. It's like more of a general fiction with a women's fiction with romance. Beach Read, I thought it was cute, and the mystery subplot was like, well, the other subplot was a bit random, but like cute. This page 5, I'm like, they're flirting. I love it. I believe in them. They're gonna be together forever and they're gonna be so happy. Like I actually love them. I love them so much. I'm not feeling good about what's going on with like the subplot with the sister. I don't have a good feeling about that. Like it's probably gonna make me cry. It's gonna hurt my feelings, isn't it? It usually does. Hello everyone. It is the final day on holiday. I feel like I look like I've got some colour, but I am also a little bit burnt. Not going to talk about that. I've been sat in the shade, fully clothed with SPF 50 on. Still, I'm pink. I actually think this is my favourite Emily Henry book that I've read so far. Now, I've only read Happy Place, Beach Read, and Book Lovers. So there's still a few that I want to read, but there's, People We Meet on Vacation, but it's called something else in the UK. So I need to read Funny Story, but I'm still waiting for that to come out in paperback. I did see the airport paperback version when I was in the airport, obviously, but it's like the size of a hardcover, and I thought that it would look too weird on my shelf. So maybe I'll read it on Kindle. People We Meet on Vacation is called You and Me on Vacation in the UK. So haven't read that one. Don't know why there's two names for it. I get why there's different covers for the UK and US books, even though I don't really get it. But I know there is, but different names? I guess it's sort of like The Crimson Moth and Heartless Hunter and that whole debacle. But I love Charlie. Charlie is my favourite Emily Henry man so far. I'm kind of a little bit obsessed. And Nora is just so nest-coded. I just have such a soft spot for misunderstood, bitchy, cold, overly perfectionist, organised character. I also felt very seen with both Charlie and Nora, and I am so type A, obsessive when it comes to control and organisation and things like that at times. So very much related to them both and felt seen by both of them, and I think that's maybe why I loved it as much as I did, because obviously contemporary romance and like fiction that focuses on two main characters as well as like other subplots and stuff, like all of these books are about different characters and relationships and their individual growth and dynamics. Obviously plot and stuff happens, but very heavily character focusing on their growth and, you know, who they are as people. I think these are the two characters that I've felt the most connected to and understand, so that's why it's obviously a 5-star read for me, but also takes the spot as my favourite Emily Henry book, which was surprising because most of the reviews I've seen on Goodreads and like everyone that I'm friends with and follow, this is lower on everyone else's rating. So I finished it and I was like, oh my god, let me run to Goodreads, and everyone was giving it like 3 stars. I was like, interesting. God, I love Emily Henry, but every Emily Henry book does make me feel emotional. Like I feel like I want to cry after. Is that a normal reaction to finishing an Emily Henry book? Maybe, maybe not. It makes me feel seen, but like also very emotional. So I definitely have to be in a specific mood to read an Emily Henry book. Very specific mindset and a controlled environment. But right now I'm reading Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter, but this is an e-arc. It's not like the final finished book that you would get if you bought it on Kindle. And it also says it's by like a different author, but it's not. It's just the download for the e-arc, because I was sent this before the release came out, but it's been released anyways. This is definitely focusing more on Wes as a main character, whereas book 1 was focusing on Liz as a main character, and it's a YA rom-com. For a YA rom-com, you know, you're used to that like happily ever after type of ending and stuff, so for a book to end and then there to be part 2, you're like, what could happen? And I've got less than 3 hours of this book left, so I'd like to potentially finish it before Cami and I come back up, but I might maybe get like 75% of the way through. That would be good, but it doesn't have page numbers because of it being an arc. It's only got percentages, so we'll see. I'd like to read another 40% of it, but I am enjoying it. Anyways, I'm gonna go back to the pool and read, so let's do that. So I just finished Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter, and I was honestly so nervous when I heard that there was going to be a book 2 to the story, because we had a book 1 and it was a YA young adult rom-com, and those books typically end in a happily ever after, so it's like what more can there be after book 2? Like it's scary. Like I don't want to think about what happens if characters don't end up together or things happen. It was so real. And it made sense. Like if book 1 was Liz's book and her story, book 2 was definitely Wes's. This really focused on him and the things that he had gone through and situations. And for their age and like finishing high school and going off to college, honestly quite realistic, but still the whole time, oh, Wes Bennett, man. I honestly think he deserves top 10 book boyfriend status. Like that boy is just... He is the definition of if he wanted to, he would. I mean, maybe not that, we'll take that back. But putting everyone else before himself and knowing exactly what he wants and how he feels and being so confident in that. Like, the way that he views Liz and feels about her, and that is just everything that my little young adult heart and teenage self would have wanted to read and hear. And so rom-coms actually make me depressed. Like, reading contemporary romance sometimes makes me really sad, because I'm like, the love that there is in books, the way that these main male characters feel about their main female characters, is just what like every girl and wants to feel like, and wants to feel valued and appreciated and loved. I definitely don't typically read a lot of young adult contemporary romances or rom-coms just because of my age. Like, I am now a 26-year-old. Reading about like high schoolers and stuff isn't something necessarily that I'm super interested in. I like reading about my own age. Better Than the Movies is definitely, that was a 5-star read for me. It was one of my favorite contemporary romances for young adult ever. It was just giggly and fun, and I love when I read books that make me feel like I'm watching a movie. Like, I can see it as a movie. I would love to see these 2 books as a movie. I feel like it could be done, but I could just visualize the whole thing. And I love rom-com movies. Like, they are one of my favorite things in the entire world. My god, did I get emotional and cry over Westlers? Yes, I did. I love them so much, those 2 characters. They're magical.